You see cardinals when the emotional field around you is active, not chaotic, not loud, but open. They do not appear during distraction. They arrive when the heart is receptive enough to register something subtle without needing proof. A cardinal is never a shock to the system. It is a recognition. The red does not startle you, it steadies you. Your awareness softens for a moment, and in that pause, something inside you listens. This is the entry point. Cardinals do not interrupt your life. They step into the space where your attention has already slowed. Cardinals are associated with presence, not transition. They do not announce endings or beginnings. They anchor continuity. When a cardinal appears repeatedly, it is not telling you that something is changing. It is telling you that something has not left. This is why people instinctively connect cardinals with loved ones who have passed. Not because the bird represents a spirit, but because it mirrors the frequency of emotional continuity. The red holds warmth, memory, affection, and recognition without weight. It carries connection without grief. The cardinal arrives when the heart needs confirmation without being pulled backward. This is not symbolic comfort. It is functional reassurance. Emotional systems require stability to remain open. When grief, longing, or unresolved attachment begins to close the heart, the cardinal enters the field to stabilize it. It reminds the nervous system that connection does not end when form changes. This is why cardinals often appear after loss, during quiet reflection, or in moments when you are remembering someone without pain but with presence. The bird does not trigger memory. It meets memory where it already exists and steadies it. Cardinals also appear during moments of emotional honesty. Not dramatic honesty, not confession, but the quieter kind where you stop lying to yourself about what you feel. They show up when you acknowledge something internally without needing to explain it to anyone else. This is important. Cardinals do not respond to thought. They respond to emotional truth. When you allow yourself to feel without narrative, without justification, without self-correction, the cardinal enters the environment. It is an indicator that the heart has aligned with itself. Because of this, cardinals are deeply tied to everyday life. They do not wait for ceremony or meditation. They appear while you are walking to your car, standing at a window, sitting on a porch, scrolling through your phone while thinking about something you did not plan to think about. Their timing is ordinary on the surface and exact beneath it. They meet you where you are emotionally present, not where you wish you were. There is also a protective quality to cardinal energy that is often misunderstood. It is not protection from danger. It is protection of emotional coherence. When you are close to numbing out, hardening, or withdrawing from connection as a defense, cardinals intervene. They do not force feeling. They prevent shutdown. Their presence keeps the heart engaged without overwhelming it. This is why people often report feeling calmer or steadier after seeing one, even if nothing in their external situation has changed. Cardinals are also markers of relational alignment. They appear when emotional bonds are active, whether those bonds are current, remembered, or forming. This includes family, partners, close friends, and even relationships that exist more as emotional imprints than ongoing contact. The cardinal shows up when those bonds are being processed, integrated, or rebalanced. It is not uncommon to see cardinals during periods when you are reconsidering a relationship, forgiving someone internally, or releasing resentment without confrontation. The bird does not push resolution. It signals that the emotional work is already happening. There is a reason cardinals are among the most commonly asked about animals. That is intentional. Their message is operate at the level of felt sense. They remind you that the heart is not fragile. It is responsive. It adapts. It remembers how to stay open even after being strained. The cardinal arrives as evidence of that resilience. On a deeper level, cardinals are also connected to ancestral emotional patterns. Not lineage in the abstract sense, but the emotional habits passed through families. How affection was expressed, how grief was handled, how presence was shown or withheld. When a cardinal appears during moments of reflection on family, upbringing, or inherited emotional tendencies, it signals an opportunity to stabilize those patterns rather than repeat them. The bird does not ask you to fix the past. It asks you to remain present with what you carry so it can soften. This is why cardinals often appear repeatedly over a short period of time. The repetition is not urgency, it is reinforcement. Emotional integration does not happen all at once. The heart adjusts in layers. Each sighting reinforces safety. Each appearance says you are still here, still connected, still capable of feeling without collapsing. Over time, the need for the signal fades as the emotional system regains balance. There is also a quiet intelligence in the way cardinals position themselves. They are not distant. They perch close, on fences, branches, windowsills. They enter your immediate environment without intrusion. This proximity matters. Cardinals are not about observation from afar. They are about shared space. They remind you that connection exists in the same place you do, not somewhere beyond reach. When cardinals appear in pairs, the message shifts slightly. Paired cardinals emphasize mutual presence. This can relate to partnerships, emotional reciprocity, or the balance between giving and receiving. It can also reflect an internal pairing, the alignment between thought and feeling, or between memory and present experience. The bird does not define which. It highlights that balance is active. Cardinals do not carry warnings. They carry confirmation. They do not announce destiny or purpose. They affirm continuity, warmth, and emotional truth. When you see one, especially during ordinary moments, it is an invitation to notice how you feel right then, not what you think. The message is not in the bird. It is in your state when the bird appears. If cardinals keep entering your life, it is because your emotional field is active and responsive. You are not disconnected. You are not closed. Even if you feel tired, guarded, or uncertain, the heart is still engaged. The cardinal shows up to reflect that engagement back to you. It is not there to teach, it is there to witness. And when the heart no longer needs reassurance, when presence becomes natural again, the cardinals recede. Not because the connection ended, but because you no longer require the reminder. You notice that cardinals tend to appear when life is quiet enough for emotion to surface without resistance. Not during crisis, not during distraction. They arrive when you are present with yourself, even briefly, even unintentionally. This is important because cardinal energy does not operate through urgency. It operates through steadiness. Where other animals signal movement, warning, or transition, cardinals signal continuity. They show you what remains intact beneath everything that has shifted. The reason cardinals feel personal is because they interact directly with the emotional body. Not the emotional stories you tell yourself, but the underlying state that shapes how you relate to memory, attachment, and connection. When a cardinal appears, your emotional system is momentarily coherent. Thought and feeling are aligned enough for awareness to settle. This alignment creates a receptive window. The bird enters that window as confirmation, not instruction. It does not push insight, it reflects stability. This is why people often associate cardinals with reassurance from loved ones. The association is not arbitrary. Emotional bonds do not dissolve when physical proximity ends. They reorganize. Cardinals appear when those bonds are active but non-disruptive, when remembrance is present without pulling you backward. They arrive when connection has matured beyond longing. The bird marks that maturity. It shows you that presence does not require form. There is a nervous system component to this that is rarely discussed. The color red activates attention without triggering alarm when perceived in calm contexts. Cardinals leverage this. Their appearance draws awareness into the body rather than out of it. You feel grounded instead of lifted. You feel steadied instead of charged. This is why cardinals are so effective during periods of emotional processing. They regulate without demanding engagement. They allow the heart to stay open without flooding. When cardinals begin appearing frequently, it often coincides with a phase of emotional integration. You may be releasing resentment without confrontation, accepting something you cannot change, allowing affection without guarding against loss. These shifts are subtle. They do not announce themselves as breakthroughs. Cardinals appear to mark them anyway. They recognize internal movement even when the mind has not named it. Cardinals are also deeply tied to relational boundaries. Not boundaries as walls, but boundaries as clarity. They show up when you are learning how to remain connected without overextending, how to care without absorbing, how to be present without performing. This is especially true when relationships are changing shape. The bird does not intervene in outcomes. It stabilizes the emotional ground so whatever unfolds does not collapse you. This is why cardinals are common during periods of caregiving, reconciliation, or emotional responsibility. When you are holding space for someone else while staying rooted in yourself, cardinal energy becomes active. It reinforces balance. It prevents emotional depletion. It signals that connection can be sustained without self-abandonment. There is also an ancestral layer that runs quietly beneath cardinal encounters. Families pass down emotional patterns more reliably than beliefs. How love was shown, how grief was expressed, how silence was used. Cardinals appear when you are consciously or unconsciously renegotiating those patterns, not by rejecting them but by stabilizing them in a healthier form. The bird does not demand healing, it reflects progress. This is why cardinals often appear during moments of reflection about family, childhood, or long-standing emotional habits. They arrive when the system is ready to integrate without blame, when compassion replaces analysis, when understanding replaces repetition. The cardinal signals that the heart is learning to hold complexity without shutting down. Unlike animals associated with intuition or transformation, cardinals do not push you inward or upward. They keep you here. They anchor awareness in the present moment. They remind you that emotional presence is not something to transcend. It is something to inhabit fully. This makes cardinals especially important in everyday life. They operate in kitchens, yards, sidewalks, and windows. They belong where life actually happens. When cardinals appear in pairs, the message often relates to balance within connection. Giving and receiving, speaking and listening, holding and releasing. This can apply to relationships with others or within yourself. Paired cardinals emphasize reciprocity. They show you where emotional exchange is functioning smoothly or where it is being restored after imbalance. It is also common for cardinals to appear during moments when you are thinking of someone without emotional charge. Not longing, not regret, just presence. This is not coincidence. The bird enters when memory has softened into appreciation, when attachment no longer grips, when the heart can hold without clinging. That is the frequency cardinals recognize. Cardinals do not stay once emotional integration stabilizes. Their disappearance is not loss, it is completion. When the heart no longer requires reinforcement, the signal withdraws naturally. This is how cardinal encounters end. Quietly, without drama, without warning, because nothing is wrong. If cardinals continue appearing over long periods, it suggests that emotional presence has become a stable trait rather than a temporary state. The heart is consistently engaged with life. The nervous system is regulated. Connection is maintained without strain. In these cases, cardinals become companions rather than messengers. They share space rather than deliver signals. The most important thing to understand is that cardinals do not bring messages you must interpret. They confirm states you are already in. Their meaning is revealed by noticing how you feel when they appear. Calm, warmth, recognition. If you look for something dramatic, you will miss the point. The power of the cardinal is subtle by design. They show you that emotional continuity exists beneath change. That connection does not require effort. That presence can be quiet and still complete. Cardinals arrive to reflect that truth back to you when you are ready to feel it without explanation. And once you no longer need confirmation, the red fades back into the world, leaving you with what was always there.